Hello, and welcome to Addicted Like Us, a podcast discussing all things written by Krista and Becca Ritchie. I'm your host, Haley, and today I have Sarah, aka Words with Sarah, with me to talk about Addicted After All, Book 7 in the Addicted series. So, quick recap, I'm Haley, a longtime reader and lover of Krista and Becca's work. I'm also a part-time illustrator, and I had the privilege of working on the special edition covers for the Like Us series. Now I just love to spend my time talking about all of my favorite books, aka anything written by Krista and Becca. So the Addicted Like Us podcast was created so I could sit down with friends and discuss all of our thoughts. So let me reintroduce you to Sarah.
Hey, I'm Sarah, longtime reader. Oh my god, I can't talk. Longtime reader of Krista and Becca, and now I'm friends with Krista and Becca. And my mission in life is to make everyone read the Addicted series, or all of Krista and Becca's books. I can't talk. I can't remember my intro that I came up with.
That's okay.
I'm a struggle guy.
This is part 4 of the Addicted After All podcast. So be sure to listen to parts 1, 2, and 3 before listening to this one, or you might be a little confused. Also, a spazzle.
We're off to the most best start.
Also, a massive spoiler warning. If you have not read Addicted After All, please go read it before you listen to it.
We will ruin the entire book for you in this segment.
We will ruin the very ending of this book for you, and that's no fun. So, to recap what we've talked about in the book so far, be as brief as possible, what happened in part 3. I think basically the big things were that Lily and Lo are kind of adjusting to parenthood now that Maximoff is born. Same with Rose and Connor now that Jane is born. I think Jonathan, we learned, broke his sobriety. Lo offered to be a donor for him because his liver is also failing as well. Lo was not a match. Reich is the next option, but he's struggling with the idea of helping his dad because he has that complicated relationship with Jonathan. The big thing that, oh god, there's so much that happened. We
took a couple of days off, so now it's
yeah, now I'm trying to, so we met Willow again, who is Lo's half-sister. She has finally found out that Lo was her half-brother, and she was really hurt by her mom not telling her, and she's come down to Philly to meet her brother for the first time, essentially. The big thing that we found out, or the big thing that we ended with, was the neighborhood shitheads broke into the house and destroyed the furniture, just wreaked havoc inside the house, and they managed to catch one and call the police. So now all of the kids are going to be charged with breaking and entering and destruction of property and all of that. And that was essentially where we left off.
We did.
Was that about a brief recap? There was a lot that happened.
You're just very detailed too, and you want to make sure everyone has a comprehensive understanding of the stage.
Yeah, because we're going into all the details, and I want everyone to remember what the details are.
Yeah. You did it fabulously. I was the one messing you up.
It was okay. I was messing myself up too. Okay, so we are picking back up the day after the kids have broken in. Daisy was obviously very scared by the kids breaking into the house, so Reich had taken her to a hotel for the evening to help her calm down, and they were debating whether Daisy was still gonna want to live with the rest of the Core 6 and if she would want to stay in that house. So picking back up with chapter 65, Daisy had with Reich, and she is just kind of sharing her feelings on how much it's meant to her to have been able to live with her sisters, and how they've grown so much closer despite the fact that Lily and Rose are starting their own families, and by all accounts could have pulled away and just been more focused on their small family units, but they've grown a larger support system and made sure to include their sisters and their sister, and Daisy's very grateful and happy that she had this chance to bond with her sisters. At the end of her beautiful speech about all of this, it sounds like she's about to leave. Like, this sounds like she's wrapping up and being like, this was a great time, like, and was so meaningful to me. But then she announces that she wants to stay, and Rose is so annoyed by that.
Why can't you start with that?
Yeah, I think it was.
I was like, doesn't Rose get a little teary-eyed, or she starts like...
Yes, she starts crying. Yeah. You could have spared me the swollen eyes by prefacing with, I'm staying. Lo cuts in, she unthawed your heart with sentimental things. Don't bitch at it for it. Yeah. Their relationship is.
Love them so much. And then Reich adds at the end, he goes, I'm staying too. And I wanted to like, obviously.
Of course.
Where would you go, Reich? Your entire heart is in this house now.
Indeed it is. So then Reich also shares, as they've come back, he's like, so I heard that Lily somehow talked you guys into starting a social media accounts. And Connor's over here like, I actually had a Twitter for years, and like, I've been on Twitter long enough that I have my username as Connor Cobalt without like
any numbers
periods or like hyphens or anything. Like, he has his perfect username.
Which is the entire reason why he joined Twitter, was to have it before anyone else did.
Pretty much. But they said that, so it was Rose and Lo were convinced to start Twitter accounts, and it's because Lily tweeted about the break-in and that everyone was safe afterwards, and media cited her tweet as like a credible source, and they feel empowered to have their voice out there in some way, because they really haven't at this point. They are.
Go ahead.
It's interesting because like they are such a large. They're so famous. They're a large presence. I don't know if presence is the right word, but they're very famous and recognizable. But one of the ways that they gained fame and were able to truly speak with the public was like Princesses of Philly, and that really wasn't them speaking. That was Scott poorly editing them. So they had no control over that. So they've had no way to truly communicate with
and
the
this
public.
Is kind of like they see it as a way of taking back like their own narrative and like controlling their like how they're perceived. They also like I think they also mentioned like they can't change like how everyone sees them, but like they can have a closer relationship with their fans, and like just putting like knowing that they're putting their truth out there is like sometimes just enough.
Yeah.
And so like it really kind of gives them like their power back, and like they're reclaiming their voice.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so then they pick their usernames.
Yes, they do.
And Reich is very confused about like why someone's already pretending to be him.
It's like, why can't
his name is already taken?
So I think, and Daisy's like, he tries Reich Meadows. That one's claimed. She's like, try Reich fuck Meadows. That one's taken too. I think he goes with Meadows Reich. And Lo also picks one too. His name is already claimed.
Yeah.
So he is, where was it? It's Hellion like, something.
Yeah. Is it like Hellion X or something?
I literally just, try Lauren Hellion. That's his. And then Rose's is Rose C. Cobalt.
Mm-hmm.
And Daisy's is Daisy on Meadows.
And can I just say, these are such iconic, like, if you know, you know, like, they're iconic, like, usernames within, like, the, like, Krista and Becca, like, universe. Like, they're just so iconic.
So the chapter ends with them, like, again, feeling empowered, and the fact that they also feel with getting their voice back that they'll be able to protect their kids a lot better too. That they can make sure that they are putting out the right narrative for their kids to understand. Because there's every likelihood that these kids are going to hear about their entire sordid past. And since it's so well documented, it's very likely that these kids are going to read about what went on in their pasts. And I think it's very important for them to actually put the truth out there. So then all the guys are in the kitchen after making their usernames, and Lo and Connor make fun of Reich because of Daisy on Meadows. I think like at one point it had been like Daisy would never have that last name, but now it's like maybe it could happen in the future.
Yeah. They're like teasing him about marriage and stuff, and like
Yeah. And what their future kid's name would be.
yeah,
Pony Meadows. Honestly, it's not like they don't go with Pony Meadows, but it does kind of fit the Meadows.
it does. Like it could have been a middle name.
It could have been future grandkids, maybe. Okay, so and then so they tease Reich about her username, and then and then Lo turns to Connor, and he was like, we got distracted at my dad's house because obviously we were finding out that he broke his sobriety and then was recommitting to becoming sober again, and also the whole thing about his diagnosis. He has cirrhosis. But they had been there for Connor to talk with Jonathan about squashing an article that the paternity test that they had for Maximoff firmly proving that Lo is his biological dad. This article just discredited it, and Lo asked Connor to work with Jonathan to squash this rumor. And so he's asking Connor, what happened when you talked with my dad? And Connor just tells him that they're willing to set aside their differences to help him. And Lo's like, how much, like, what do I owe you? Means a lot to me. But Connor's like, no, don't worry about it. This is now my thing. This is no longer part of your story. I'm handling this.
Well, it also should be noted, like, the reason why Lo thinks he owes Connor something is because, like, in a previous chapter he mentioned, like, Connor doesn't do things out of, like, kindness, usually. Like,
Yes, Connor...
there's usually, like, something benefiting him to it. So, like, we talked about in the last episode, like, this, like, just is, like, another, like, stepping stone for, like, Connor Cobalt, who, like, being in touch with his humanity more.
Yes, so Lo can also kind of sense that Connor's padlocking his emotions. There's a sense of a little dishonesty here, but Connor's just like, I have it handled. Don't worry about
it. Like, it's my cross to bear, not yours. Yes.
And he does say that, yeah, trust me when I tell you, it's taken care of. This isn't part of your story anymore.
Which, like, that part made me cry. Again, this book is, like, this makes me cry so much. But, like, it's such a beautiful, like, moment from, like, for, like, a friend turned, like, a family member. Like, it's just so beautiful. And, like, he's just, like, it's my story now. It's not yours. Like, you can let it rest. And, yes. Like, Connor, the man you are.
No.
Just delicious.
It's so fun because I am recording this part of the podcast in tandem with recording the Feel the Fire podcast.
I've
already talked about
something. Like the Jonathan stuff.
Yeah, we learn what Connor does in Feel the Fire. So I've been talking about that, and I'm like,
I actually was thinking about that.
Now I have to I was like so open about it and explaining everything. Now I have to.
Now you're like, okay, actually, let's rewind.
Yes.
Zip it.
Forget everything that I know and.
Like Men in Black, you just be like, boop boop
boop. Yep. So the next chapter, Willow is officially staying in Philly. She met with her mom the night that the neighbors broke into their house, and Willow decided that she's not going back to Caribou, Maine, where she's from. She's going to stay in Philly.
What an iconic name for, like, a city.
It's a pretty iconic name.
It is pretty
very Maine name.
Yeah.
So Lily is now showing Willow around Superheroes and Scones because, as we mentioned, Willow really does not want to impose on Lo, like, just because she has a famous brother. She's not there for his fame. She's there because she wants to build a relationship with this new family member that she has.
Yeah, like, she wants a really honest, kind of organic approach, like, growth with her brother. Yes. To the point where we're learning in this chapter, she's not even staying with Lo.
Yeah, she's living with the Superheroes and Stores manager, Maya.
Yeah. But she's also, so the reason why she's...
Superheroes and Stores.
Yes, you were, but that's kind of
cute. Superheroes and Scones store manager, Maya.
This is what happens when you go into episode 4. Delirium sets in from like so she's living with Maya, who is the manager of Superheroes and Scones, and the reason why Lily is with her at Superheroes and Scones in this chapter is because it's her first day on the job. She's being trained.
Yeah, she doesn't want to have low pay for anything. She wants to make her own money and make her own way while she's in Philly. Willow says she's not adventurous like my little sister. This is Lily thinking this, and she's referring to Daisy, but this seems like a pretty big adventure to me. This is something we'll see with Willow's arc. She always claims that she's not the adventurous type, but she is and she's kind of timid, but she is quite a brave individual. And she's only 17.
She is. And she feels so much older too. I always have to remind myself, in these books, I'm like, she is 17. And then, are we at the iconic moment of this chapter yet?
There is a knock on the door while she's getting shown around the store, and Lily goes over. The store's closed right now, so nobody should be. There aren't any customers. Nobody should really know that they're there. But there's a knock on the door, and Lily peeks out, and she sees Garrison waiting at the door, and she's like, "Do I let him in?" I think Garth is standing next to her too, and she's like, "Should I let him in, Garth? What do you think?" Garth's just like, "I don't boss you around. I just protect you from whatever choices you make. This is your decision."
They're not the bodyguards we're used to anymore.
Not at all. Very laid back type of bodyguard. But Lily decides that she will let him in. She knows that Lo had offered all of the guys positions at the store if they stopped messing with them, and as we learned, Garrison was not with his friends when they broke into the house. So he's coming by the store to take up Lo's offer, but he's struggling.
It's a big moment for him. He basically has to have, some humility.
Yeah.
And kind of, swallow, his, teenage boy pride and be like, I would like to work here.
Yeah. But also, yeah, he's swallowing his pride, but Lily's not here, she's not there holding this big grudge or being mean to him about it. It's like, okay, I recognize that this is a big step for you, and you're coming to apologize, and you want to work here, and I accept this. And he's just like, what is this kind of behavior? I don't get it. I'm not deserving of it. And then he has his I'm not a good guy. I never told them to stop. I knew that they planned to break in and scare everyone, and I didn't do anything. I just let them leave. But he says that there was something about Lo, what Lo said to him when they were at Superheroes and Scones before, that just got to him, and he didn't go. This is a big Garrison moment.
And, it's, a beautiful... It's his fresh start and his
yes, it's his turning point.
Yeah,
we'll learn so much more in Bad Rep, but yeah, this is his big turning point.
So Lily lets him into the store.
Well, yeah, she's let him in. She's gonna let him work, but he's talking about I'm not a good guy.
It's really reminiscent of kind of Lo, but
that's what Lily thinks. She's like, this guy reminds me so much of Lo at this age, but
Lo would have never done this.
Yes, he's here asking for help. He's taking the offer, kind of meeting halfway, and Lo at that age would not have done the same thing.
Do you think though, Garrison could is Lo without the alcoholism? Do you think this is how Lo would be if he was a teenager not addicted to alcohol?
I could see it.
Yeah, something similar to it.
Yeah.
Slash not raised by Jonathan Hale.
Yes. Probably a lot of Lo in Garrison, and she tells him that he's done the right thing. He doesn't feel like he has. It's a big moment for him and a turning point for his story arc, but he doesn't forgive. He's similar to Lo in that he carries a lot of self-loathing. While he is taking this big step, he doesn't feel like this is a big enough step for the famous ones.
Yeah.
So Lily's over here reassuring him, you did the right thing by coming here, by not going with your friends. She accepts his apology, and then she brings him over to the cash register.
And who's also the cash register? Willow.
Miss Willow.
And they're the same age.
Yes, they are. And she's got like her bag on her. She carries her bag with her everywhere, but as soon as she sees Garrison, bag drops to the floor, and he like crouches down, is helping her clean up.
And Lily's matchmaking, like, OTP soulmate detector is
Yes.
going off.
Yes. She's like, as much as Lo clearly wants to help Garrison, he would not support a Willow and Garrison pairing. So she's like quickly trying to separate the two of them. She's like, Willow, I left
Give
my
me a purse.
Yeah, I left it in the break room. And she's like, no, I didn't.
She goes, I didn't bring a purse. Willow's gonna be looking for a while.
So she's like, yeah, sure, I'll go get it. And she leaves. She turns to leave, but then turns back around because she needs her stuff. And then Garrison hands her bag to her, and their hands brush. And Lily's like, fuck, I give up.
I give up. She goes, I tried. Fate wants what fate wants.
Maybe in another life, I was Cupid and foretold every relationship there ever was.
Just
you wait. But the sparks are already flying. So now the next chapter today is October 1st, and it is the day that the board decides who's going to be the Haleco CEO. Lo and Reich are headed to this board meeting, and Lo is very happy to see that Reich is looking more like himself. Because he was like shaving his face, wearing a monkey suit at all of these.
He's back to like him, like he's giving no fucks about like putting on airs or anything like that.
He's back to being the Reich Meadows we know and love. And then Reich tells him that he got tested at the hospital, and he is a match for Jonathan, and he's going to be the donor for Jonathan. And he says that this is not to save his dad. This is something he needs to do for himself and something he needs to do for Lo. Jonathan has no bearing on this.
No, but Reich couldn't live with himself knowing and not helping.
I just think this kind of shows Reich's growth too, because we saw in his book that he really struggled to speak to the media about Jonathan potentially the rumor that Jonathan molested Lo. He would not discredit or I don't know what the word is that I'm looking for. He would not refute the rumors and shut down that whole line of speculation. But one of the reasons that he didn't want to end these rumors was because he'd be helping Jonathan and helping protecting his reputation, and Reich didn't want to do that, and it took him so long and essentially a fight with Lo for him to finally understand that he was helping Lo in this process and coming to terms with potentially helping Jonathan. And this is again another similar situation, and it took him a lot less time and a lot less fighting for him to reach this moment of, I'm doing this for myself.
And I think it's a really big move for Reich too. It's a moment of growth, like you said, but not just for that reason. But Reich never puts himself first. He is one of my favorite quotes in the books. I think I've referenced it in every episode. But when Lo says, "My brother would go through hell just so I could be in heaven," I think that again just Reich would rather suffer than to see the people he loves suffer.
Yeah.
And for him to be I'm actually gonna do this for myself because I couldn't live with the guilt.
Mm-hmm.
And he also doesn't deserve to live with that guilt.
No.
So it's a really big moment of him kind of putting himself first in a way, and it is helping Lo and it is helping Jonathan, but he's also doing it to help himself, because knowing he could help someone, even if that someone is Jonathan, who he has a very tumultuous relationship with and very fraught relationship, that would eat at him alive, like,
Yeah.
in, like, a year, 5, 10, like, into, like, well into, like, him being, like, of, like, where we see him in, like, the Addicted and the Like Us series. Like, that would just eat at him.
Yeah, it would.
And, like,
Haunt him, yeah.
yeah, and so, like, I feel like, kind of like how, I don't know if this is, like, the same comparison, but kind of like how, like, he kind of had, like, some guilt about, like, not reaching out to Lo sooner.
Yeah.
And, like, so it shows, like, he's not the same person as,
No.
like, how, like, where they started either. Like, they're growing up. Our babies are growing up.
Here, I have another line that will make you cry too.
Great. I'm sure it already did.
Lo is like, I'm surprised, but then I'm not. He's the most compassionate person I've ever met. Without asking, he helped me stay sober for years on end. He became friends with a lonely girl who needed one. He watched over her when no one else did. He will always be the biggest hero in my world.
Yep. Here's my water, guys.
So
I love him.
it's just like the whole back and forth. God, these men have grown so much over the course of this book, because
They have.
Lo is over here like, I'm going to be here every step of the way. I will help you. Because this is a big surgery for Reich, and the recovery process is
intense. Like, it's like a month in bed, like, of bed rest and stuff, and Reich doesn't stop. Like, he's always on the go.
Yeah, so Lo is ready to be that person.
Lo is ready to sit on his brother to keep him in bed.
Yes. And Reich just says, he's like, I'll be there every step of the way, and Reich just says, good. And it's not because he doesn't need the help, it's just that he's ready for Lo to be that support, because he knows that Lo can handle this.
Like, look at how they've grown together. Like, look how beautiful.
These brothers, man.
They're fantastic.
They are. So then they walk into this conference room to have the board meeting, and they compliment both of them on the effort that they've put in. And they say,
Isn't it, there's something too where, like, they talk about Jonathan and they, like, trash him? And
yes.
Lo's, like, taken aback, and he's like,
yes. So they compliment both men. They said, they turned to Reich. You've come to respect us, so have we to you. You're multilingual, quick to understand our approaches, and very receptive to new ideas. Your father boasted about you. He said you were too smart for your own good. And then they turned to Lo, and he's like, what are they going to say about me? And when we first met you, we weren't sure if you'd want to be involved with this company. Through your initiative, you've proven to us that you do. You're a lot like your father, but you're not like him. And he's like, what? And Daniel's like, the son of Jonathan Hale, what he'd call a little shit. What Jonathan is, someone who'd throw a bottle of wine at a wall, toss papers around, yell in an employer's face, or yell in an employee's face if the job didn't go as planned. Degrade a person so he'd feel better. Don't look so shocked. We know the terrible parts of your father. We've been around him long enough, and we're all more than impressed to see that you didn't inherit his habits.
That means
Trashing Jonathan and uplifting Lo in the same sentence.
As they should.
Yes.
As they should.
They should like that.
And, like, that's, like, something that Lo's, like, needed to hear, I think, like, his entire life.
Yeah, and I mean, that's pretty meaningful from people
who have worked with his dad for, like, decades.
Yeah, have known his dad for a really long time, and
have known
like,
Lo for, like,
yeah, and
life.
through John, like, and because it's almost like Lo wasn't around. He wasn't necessarily around at, like, Hale co-functions. So, like, because it was mentioned, like, he and Lily would hide off in a corner. So probably a lot of what they know of Lo comes through the perception of Jonathan talking about Lo. And even still, they're like, no, you're not like him.
You're not like your dad. And he's not, like, he is, like, he has so much good in him. And, like, he, like, fights. Like,
he's he used to carry a lot of self-loathing, but he also carries a lot of, like, self-reflection. Like, he can at least see who he is. When we've seen it throughout this book where, like, during the Truth or Dare, and he asked Daisy that question, he could see, he could understand as he was asking this question, like, no, don't ask this. He can at least recognize.
Well, yeah, and, like, that's a big, like, thing for growth, too, is to, like, recognize.
And then try and adjust course. Sometimes it doesn't work, but, like, he's still trying.
Well, and, like, you're, like, he's human. Like, humans mess up, and, like, the only thing you can do is acknowledge you made a mistake and, like, get better. Because, like, it starts with acknowledgement. And then
Yeah.
when you can acknowledge it, you can change it.
Yeah. Yeah. So then they said that the board tells them that they've voted, but ultimately they think the decision should come from Lowenreich. And they say that they'd be happy. They say, we want someone who truly wants to run this company. If that's both of you, then we'll be damn happy to have the Hale brothers as the face of Hale Cohen. Reich is not a Hale.
Reich is upset, and like, but, like, I was like, oh, that's so sweet. I was like, Reich hates this. I love it. It is a powerful message, though. Like, whether he calls them the Hale brothers or not, like, like, to have the brothers together.
Yeah. And so Reich turns to Lo, and he says, just tell me one thing. Will you be happy? My smile stretches my face. I can't contain it. I already am. I've proven to myself that I could reach this point without a crutch. I'm sober. I'm healthy. I'm so goddamn alive. Reich smiles back like he's proud of me. It's yours, little brother. I believe in you.
It gets me every time.
No. It's the little brother. And you're like, oh, my heart. And then he goes, I believe in you. And you're like, oh, I'm deceased. He has been waiting for so long to hear Reich tell him that.
And it's like, if he's gonna believe in you your entire life, Lo.
So good.
We're gonna cry off camera together,
well,
people, just so you know.
Guess what the next chapter is?
It's also gonna make me cry. I was like, the wedding, is it gonna make me cry?
It's 100%. I already warned Sarah that I was very likely just going to
She's gonna do a dramatic reading of the vows.
I was going to read the entire chapter because I basically have the equivalent.
So everyone, buckle your seatbelts. We're going on a dramatic reading with Haley.
I am no audio narrator. But yeah.
Why is it dramatic?
So, it's October 10th.
Mm-hmm.
Lily is at the hotel and she's getting ready for her wedding. And she's not really, she's like a little nervous, but she's like, what if he says no? I'll rip off his penis, Rose says flatly. And she's like, that's not something I would enjoy. I love Lauren Hale's cock so much. Just very on brand for Lily, and
very on brand for Rose.
And they all reassure her, like, he's not gonna say no, absolutely not. Lily is now standing outside the doors, waiting to walk down the aisle. She's with Greg. She's like, is Maximoff out there? Like, just
being a mom.
Yeah, being a mom, but just like thinking about other things. And she says that it's not until her dad opens the door that she fully believes that she's marrying him. That this is my wedding day, October 10th, on our terms, at long, long last. So she walks down the aisle to Lo. Maximoff is like sitting in the front row. Right, where is it? In a perfectly fitted tux, Lo waits at the end of the aisle for me, his hands cupped in front of his body. Those intoxicating amber eyes never diverge from mine, never break or part or leave me. He is ice and scotch, sharp and dizzying, breathtakingly gorgeous. When he looks at me, I see those thousands of memories course through his gaze. 7-year-olds performing a backyard ceremony, 9-year-olds racing around his father's mansion, 15-year-olds flipping through comic books on his bed. We've consumed each other from day one, and we truly never let go.
Have it.
Yes. So she gets down to the altar, and we know from Kiss the Sky that Connor lost the coin toss for who was going to be the best man. So Reich is the best man, but they did ask Connor to be the officiant for the ceremony. So Connor steps up, and he says, before you each say a few words to each other, there's something we all want to say to you. I speak for everyone here today when I say that you two, Lily and Lo, are the strongest people we've all ever had the honor to meet. You both have spent years praising all of us for our talents and our strengths, but you were too blinded by your own foibles to even realize how much we've revered you. For years, we've watched you fight for this future, for each other, and you've conquered a larger battle in your lifetime than most of us will ever come to see. You are our heroes, and today we are grateful to celebrate your love and your life together. And Lo goes, goddamn,
like,
Connor.
How dare you, Connor Cobalt, make me so emotional right now. Like, That is, like, such, like, a wonderful, like, summary of, like, their journey together. From the eyes of, like, the people that went with it. Like, it's just so beautiful and touching.
Yes.
And how dare you, Connor, say that to them? How dare you say that to me?
As Lo said, "Goddamn, Connor." So then he gives them the floor, and Lo asks, they have not written any vows. They were just
So they wanted to do it themselves.
yeah, they just wanted to say whatever they were feeling at the time, and Lo asks if he wants Lily to go first or him, and she says first. I'll go first. If someone ever asks how long we've spent together, I'd say for as long as my mind stretches back. I can't tell you the day that I fell in love with you because there wasn't a single day that I didn't. You have the purest parts of my heart, and I'm certain that in every alternate universe, I'm always, always in love with you. And then,
You are.
and then it's Lo's turn. Nearly every day of our lives, you've wondered one thing. You've wondered when your superpowers will kick in. According to your timeline, they've been present as far as your mind stretches back. Lily Calloway, all this time, your superpower has been loving me. And you'll be happy to know that I'm not mortal, because my superpower is the love that I have for you. It's out of this world, extraordinary, incomprehensible kind of love, and no one and nothing on this earth comes close to it. Our lips meet at the same moment, expressing the words we've spoken. Our bodies attract like magnets that have met for an unquantifiable time. In the very happiest moment of my life, we learned 3 things. I am strong. I have powers. My soul meets Lauren Hale's in every kiss. When the curtains on my universe close, he will still be with me. That I'm sure of.
A beautiful reading, Kaylee.
Thank you. Oh, when I was telling you, I love that last line where she says, when the curtains close on my universe, because it's like, I can take comfort as a reader that, like, God forbid, when it ever happens, the curtains close on me addicted.
How dare you speak
I'm
of that?
sorry, I'm sorry.
We talked about that last week off camera. We were crying.
Yes, but like, we'll say years and decades down the line,
Never.
should the addicted verse
Never happening. Hypothetically. Hypothetically, of course.
Yes.
They're immortal.
hypothetically, should the addicted universe come to an end, I can just rest my soul knowing that no matter what happens, that Lily will always be with Lo. Like, we may not know what's canon, but what is
No,
for
we're
sure
They're
canon
together
is that,
forever, alive forever.
yeah, Lily and Lo together is
Forever.
100% canon. But I love that. It's so
Beautiful. Like, it's just, it's so much, oh my gosh, I, again, can't talk today. It's soulmates at the purest form, and it's
Yes.
just, it's so simply, it's such, like, a simple line with, like, to encompass their entire lives. Like, it's, like, a beautifully powerful line, and it's just, I mean, it's their entire love story in a single, like, sentence.
yes.
And, like, that's just honestly the most beautiful thing. Like,
One of the most iconic chapters in the entire Addicted universe.
I mean, truly. I think about their wedding often.
Yes.
Like, when I think of Addicted After Now, Addicted After All, we are on a roll today.
I'm super loopy.
I'm even hydrating, trying to, like, combat whatever's wrong with okay, for everyone who's wondering what's wrong with us, we haven't slept. I'm on a deadline to finish a book, and so I've been writing every single day, and my brain is tired. I am tired.
Yep.
Words aren't making sense.
Yeah, and I have a dog who has gastrointestinal, is that the word? Gastrointestinal
Yeah.
issues that only occur in the nighttime hours.
Yeah. On a work night.
Yes.
So we are
Loopy.
We're just rolling with it, you know? Like, we're just having a good time.
We are.
what I think, like, one of the scenes I think about the most when I think about, like, Lily and Lo's story, like, Addicted After All, like, it's always their wedding.
Yeah. When I do giveaways on my Instagram, like, if it's for a Lily and Lo book, I usually say, just tell me a favorite moment of yours, a favorite Lily and Lo moment of yours. And their vows are the most common answer. It's just
They're so
beloved by all.
beautiful. And they just encompass so much. Like,
Yeah, it perfectly encompasses their love story.
it does. And what a beautiful love story. Look how far we've made it, people.
It's really hard. I'm like rereading the series right now and going so in depth talking about this book and going back to Addicted to You is even harder right now.
Yeah.
I'm in the wrong headspace. I'm at two very different
Well, like, I would,
opposing
like, that's
ends.
also, like, me. Like, I'm, like, I want to, like, reread the entire, like, because I've never read them from, like, Addicted to You all the way to Nobody's Like Us, and I really want to do that. Like, I really want to make that, like, just, like, a fun little thing for me personally. And I'm, like, I don't know if I'm strong enough. Like, I mean, I am. Like, I can totally do it. But, like, it's just to know where they end up to, and, like, to see them, like, where they start. It's just so emotional.
But it absolutely makes you appreciate where they end
For
up.
sure, yeah.
But
Like,
yeah, it's very emotional.
it's because it's just like I forget exactly like all just how like bad they like were within their addictions in the beginning. Whenever I go back, I'm like, I just want to hug you both so much. Come on, group hug, bring it in.
Now,
Back on track.
yeah, it feels like that should have been the ending, but we're blessed with even more.
We're so blessed.
So it is October 31st, aka Lauren's birthday, and it
Lawrence.
just so happens that Halloween falls on that day too.
I like how you said Lauren's name though. You're like Lawrence. Like it was like in the back of your throat.
Yep.
Honestly, like some of my some of the most iconic scenes in like the entire like Addicted universe, it's always Halloween.
Yeah. Halloween is like Krista and Becca's favorite holiday to write about.
Well,
I feel like it's the one that they write about the most.
well, and I love that too because like we always like make a big deal, and by we I mean like the Addicted characters about Rose's birthday being the biggest deal. And I always feel like it's always Lowe's on page. Which like I just like find so much delight in, not only because like there's some of like the best scenes, but also because like I just like think about like Rose.
I never thought of it like that, but yeah. Sorry, Rose.
It's great. I love it. It's like Lauren Hale's like revenge.
Okay, so it is Lauren Hale's birthday, aka Halloween. They are the guys are going out to the store really fast to grab some ice because they are hosting a party at their house as like a gesture of goodwill with the neighbors after all of the drama that they've experienced the past year. Now that the teenagers have been arrested, they're trying to make nice with the rest of the neighbors. So the guys are in the car going to get ice, and Connor goes inside. Like, it's the three of them. Connor goes in to get the ice. Lo and Reich stay in the car. Connor had been up front, and when he leaves, Reich gets out of the car and takes the passenger seat so he can sit next to Lo and talk. And then Reich asks, "Do you ever think about 4 years ago, the night we met?" And they talk about how Lo doesn't totally remember the entire night because obviously he was at the height of his addiction at that point. And Reich says, "I think about it almost every fucking day. I think about what would have happened if I just left you there." And Lo's like, "I'll tell you, bro, so you can stop torturing yourself. I would have woken up the next morning, kickstarted the day with some Baileys, then switched to whiskey and bourbon every hour, every damn day, and I would have taken down the only girl I've ever loved with me. You saved me, and the way I see it, Rose saved Lily." However, I would like to pose, because I saw somebody else mention that, in theory, Connor is the reason that they all got together because of his fun name. And that was the reason why Lily picked him as a tutor, and Connor was the one that invited them to the Halloween party where Lo finally met Reich. I would like to pose that in an alternate universe, Reich at some point would have wanted to meet his brother.
For sure.
There would have been some... They went to the same school. They share a dad. Like, there would have been a point where they would have told Lo that he had a brother, and Reich would have been in Lo's life. Lo would have been addicted for a little longer, but
Would have come in eventually.
Reich would have come into his life and saved him, no matter what. There is no universe where Reich is not coming to help his brother.
But no, like Reich would 100% like come in, because this entire the entire 2 episodes I've been on with you, like we've always circled back to like how compassionate and kind and like how like really selfless Reich is. Like he will sacrifice himself for the people, for like anyone, for like a stranger. Like we see him like do it with Daisy before like he really knows Daisy. And like, so I think all it would have taken was like one time for their paths to cross, even if like he saw him like on campus or something, and then he would have been like, this is it.
Yep, this is the time.
It would be like,
yep, yeah. So,
also they also can't like say like, that's giving Connor too much credit, and I'm just only speaking on behalf of Rose. He can't have that much credit for the sake of Rose living with him and for the sake of their marriage.
Yes. So then Connor comes back from getting ice and he knocks on the passenger door and he's like, move. That was my seat. No, I'm staying right here.
I called seat check.
He wants his seat back. Reich flips off Connor though and says, fuck off. So then Connor climbs into the back seat. I thought you enjoyed the back seat. You have 2 windows to stick your head out of instead of 1. And Lo says, you're getting him confused with Daisy. And then Reich's like, she's fucking cooler than both of you.
Yeah, she is.
And then Connor's like, you are fucking Daisy Calloway. Logistically, you'd believe she's about a blowjob or 2 cooler than us. And then Lo's like, you need to add more hand jobs to that, because I heard that, yeah, she doesn't like...
Yeah.
Daisy told Lily, and Lily told Lo that Daisy doesn't like blowjobs. And then Lo's like, it's okay, I know Rose doesn't like them either. Connor says, because she can't take all of me in her mouth and it aggravates her. For fuck's sake, you couldn't let me bask in that for at least 2 seconds, could you? I love the banter between these 3 men.
It's so great. But also, we can't blame Daisy for not liking blowjobs for so many reasons. But also, when she gave one, something traumatic happened. Yes. And it was Connor's fault. So
it was
Connor's fault. Connor.
Yes. So then they get back to the house. Lo goes looking for Lily. He says, where's my puff? Because he's dressed as a Slytherin and she's dressed as a Hufflepuff. And she has like a punch bowl in front of her and she's struggling to hold this full punch bowl. He says, where's my puff? And she says, me? Is there another Hufflepuff in the house, love? Maximoff could be a Hufflepuff. But they don't know this. He's obviously too young, but I'm over here like, yeah. He's a Hufflepuff.
Oh, could you imagine if he was like low? Like, he would be too powerful.
Way too powerful. Yeah, she's like, or he could be a Slytherin. But yeah, so walk out. Lily is trying to carry this punch bowl. Lily Hale, it's a temperamental bowl. Use one of your spells to move it, Lil Puffy. I'm like busy reading the book. I'm supposed to be talking in a podcast, and I'm just busy reading.
Haley, you're supposed to be leading our discussion.
Use one of your spells to move it, Lil Puffy. I can't. Lost your wand. And then she gets distracted. She like looks at Lo's lips. A smile pulls my face. She's turned on by wizard jokes. God, I fucking love her. I step near to help her, but she raises her hands. Stay back! That's not a spell. You're too attractive right now. Mess up your hair, she orders. I rake my fingers through my longer strands of hair on top. Don't do that!
It's not gonna work.
She's just, yeah, she's very attracted by her hubby.
And she should be. Like, good for you, Lil.
Absolutely. So They eventually go outside. Flo carries the bowl. She carries Maximoff. They go out to the backyard. They run into Rose, who's carrying Jane around. Rose is dressed as she's the Black Swan, and I don't know what Jane is. Like, she's the counterpart to the Black Swan, but...
The White Swan? Is that what it's called? I've never seen the Black Swan.
Yeah, I've never seen it either. And Rose is also very mad because Connor has been busy at work, so he only came to the party in, like, a button. He didn't have time to put on a true costume, so he's wearing, like, his work clothes, but he has fake vampire fangs that he put in his mouth, and Rose finds it infuriating that Connor can talk with these fake teeth, and he still sounds completely normal.
You know he practiced.
Did he, though? I can't picture Connor practicing. I just picture him doing it.
I feel like he would, just to aggravate her. Like, I feel like he would, like, plan this, and he'd be like, there's gonna come a time where I need to aggravate Rose with vampire teeth. I need to be prepared. I feel like that would be, like, a chess, like, kind of, like, way of thinking. Like, he would be like, just in case.
So, I mean, he succeeded. She's annoyed. So, like, they're just taking in the whole party. Lo looks over, and something catches his eye. It is Willow. She's dressed as, what is her character? It's from Street Fighter. Vega. She's dressed as Vega from Street Fighter. But who's sitting next to her?
Lo's worst nightmare.
Garrison's sitting next to her, and Lo's like, I don't like that.
Lo's like, separate?
Reich comes by, and he sees this too. He's also like, not totally about this potential pairing that we're seeing. And Reich says, he's a fucking hormonal teenage guy with anger issues. It's not cute. Lily thinks they're cute.
We think they're cute.
And then, yeah, Lo's like, hey, you two! Separate!
Right. Already such a dad.
Already. Absolutely. Like, a fusion of dad and big brother.
Yeah.
So, Reich gets distracted by a caw-caw coming from the roof. And it's Daisy, who is dressed up as a deer.
Yeah.
Cawing.
And he's like, not this right sound.
Deer, don't caw. Don't caw. And then he climbs up the drain pipe to get to Daisy.
He's so hot. Like, he can just climb anything. Like, it's just so hot.
And Lily's, like, slapping Lo's arm, being like, Nerd Star moment! And Lo's like, Jesus Christ, I don't have the mental stability to watch both couples at the same time. It's just like, there's so much going on in this moment.
Now's the time for Garrison to make his move, if there's any time.
Yes. So then, while he's watching Reich climb, he kind of reflects on, like, how full of life Reich is, and what it will be like for him to be bedridden when he does his surgery, with setting up things for future books. My brother's lifespan is shorter than mine. I know it, and I hate it. He deserves to outlive me and every goddamn person here. Because Reich is obviously a climber, and he takes lots of risks. That is just who he is.
I was like, ma'am, what do you mean it's foreshadowing something? I was like, what happens if nobody like us?
No. Not that far ahead. You're fine. Everything's fine.
I caught up, but I was like, excuse me. Really?
But then, Lo thinks, never in my life did I think having a brother would change me, make me better than who I am. But there's something about siblings that pushes you to thrive in ways that a parent can't. Hey, Lil, I breathe, putting Mafi's bottle down. She's hey, Lil, someday I want another kid. And Lily is shocked by this news. I believe that we can raise more than one kid. It doesn't have to be in a year or 2 or even 3, but someday I want to meet Luna and whoever else. I don't want Maximoff to be an only child like I was growing up. Luna! I know. That one got me. I'm fine.
Not.
Tricking myself into saying I'm fine. I've lived both versions. No siblings. Siblings. For me, there's no question which one I'd choose again. And Lily, Lily is truly, she's not saying much. And then she, like...
Do you want more kids?
Yes. He like, do you not want more? And then she breaks into this beautiful smile, and he's like, you thought one and done? I know you love him so much, but you never talked about it. And Lo says, I never told you this, but having a kid, it affected me. And I'm not saying it's been easy or it's been this magic solution to my problems. Sometimes it made things worse, overwhelmed me, but it shook me. It woke me up. And somewhere in my head, I tightened the things that had been coming loose. And I know they can always unscrew again. I know that I could relapse down the line, but I'm not looking at the worst parts of my life anymore. I'm focusing on the best things I have. There are a whole hell of a lot of those. So many best things in your life, Lo.
So many.
And Lily's like, I was supposed to give you a gift on your birthday.
Haley and I saw.
Yeah. So she touches Moffy's tiny fingers, and she skims his cheek with a gentle, caring brush of her thumb. My family, my wife, my son. Never did I think I'd be the recipient of fragile, precious things. Every single part of me is alive today, and it'll be tomorrow. I'm not dying in my own body anymore. I am truly living. Peace courses through me. It's the quiet that I never thought existed, and the heaven that I never believed was meant for me. Lily and I, we may have started our relationship as pretend, but for as long as I can remember, our love has always been real.
And I'm just gonna cry for just like quick second. Just gonna let out my emotions.
Yeah, you cry for a quick second. So that, oh God, just him talking about it's always been real. Like, that was such a huge thing in Addicted to You, where I kept shouting at Lily because she'd be in all of these moments like, we're pretending, we're just a pretend couple, but then he like brushes his hand on my hip and like, was that a real moment, or was he just like feeding into, and I just like want to shake her, but like, it was all real the entire time, and Lo's here truly confirming, like, yes, I have been in love with Lily since I was a child. Like, I've never not been in love with her, and all of these actions were just me showing my love for Lily. Always so beautiful, and just imagining Lily and Lo growing their family in the future. They're gonna have this beautiful, bright future, and Lo feeling like they can handle having more kids too. From Lo too. The one who was like, I am never having a child.
Yeah. And he was still like...
To like, okay, I'm having a kid, and I'm gonna change my life and be better so that I don't accidentally damage this kid, to, no, we can do it again. Like,
a couple more times.
No. I mean, Maximoff knows what he is. He's an accident, and like, they accidentally had this kid and they weren't gonna get rid of him, but like, now they purposefully
they're making the choice to have more kids because they want to have that, like, to like build their own family, and to have like Maximoff like have like siblings, like they've had siblings, and like they're gonna have the world. I love this constant theme of how important siblings are too. It's so special, right? So let's talk about the bonus material at the back of the Berkeley editions. I haven't had a chance to read them, so can you refresh my memory? And
I'm going to, I'll summarize as
dramatic readings. More dramatic readings with Haley.
We'll see. So the first one, it's been chaotic. My summaries. So it's the first one is Lily's 24th birthday questionnaire. So Lily wakes up at 4 a.m. on her birthday, and she wants to do her questionnaire as like a live Q&A on social media. So she wakes up low and goes live to have her fans ask her questions, and Lo's gonna like sit there and help her answer. That's so funny. Lily woke up at 4 a.m. on our time to say hi to all of you and answer questions. It's my best friend's birthday today. She's kind of camera shy, even when it's her own camera. Bear with us. Someone asks, how old is your best friend turning? My best friend is turning 24. And she's like hiding under the blanket. So he says, I've recently discovered that she's part blanket monster. And what's a favorite memory of your past birthday? I liked my 9th birthday. My dad rented out the roller rink for me. Never even made it out onto the rink. It was slick. And I saw Michael Rosen fall 4 times. He was athletic. I'm not athletic. There has to be a better memory than one that involves Michael, I'm going to turn into a douchebag lacrosse player Rosen. Not that we dislike him. I'm sure if you're listening, Michael Rosen, you turned out to be awesome. I don't like him. He's a douchebag. This entire chapter is literally just filled with interactions like that.
This is amazing.
Lily's like, and I like that birthday. You helped me skate on the carpet by the benches. It was fun. Of course, she was spending time with Will. What superhero show or movie would you like to be a part of and why? X-Men First Class. In that timeline, social media wouldn't exist and I wouldn't have to talk to you all. What kind of words of advice would you give to the Lily Calloway of 5 years ago? I would say, Lily, stop masturbating. Well, I tell my younger self to make sure you don't give that advice to your younger self. Then I destroy the time machine on my way to the past.
Love him so much.
And then, yeah, everyone's having the same reactions that we are. OMG, you two are so freaking cute. I want Lo to love me like he loves you. I can't. This is the cutest thing ever.
Actually, what we're saying right now in real time.
Yes. What is something you'd put in a time capsule to dig up 20 years from now? Condoms, I say automatically. What if in 20 years there's a shortage of condoms? They'd be useful. I can always pull out. Lily's like, this is a PG show. We're an R-rated couple. What is the best gift Lo has ever given you? Being there for me when I've reached a low. And the mind-blowing sex.
Gotta have the balance, truthfully.
Well, it's like the important part.
Yeah.
What's the worst birthday gift you've ever received? A crayon. I was 12. Yeah, no, I'm doing a great job summarizing, but it's essentially just them,
No,
like...
You're doing a fantastic job.
It's, yeah, this whole chapter is essentially just them being cute in bed and, like,
adorable.
paying attention to yeah, just, like, getting distracted by each other and then turning back and, like, answering another question and then having another cute moment. It's just, like, it's so very evident how entangled their lives have always been and will continue to be. Just, like, I think it's so cute that what was your favorite birthday memory? When Lo was helping me skate, what was
like a memory
even like what was your worst gift? Something that Lo gave me. But like what was your best gift? Also something that Lo gave me.
They're just so like entwined and they're
Yeah. And just they do like a either or Hogwarts or Xavier School for the gifted youngsters. We'd spend 4 years at Hogwarts before the Dark Lord does some serious damage, then head over to Xavier's. Vampire, werewolf, vampire, Wampa Cap or X-Men Wolverine watch, Wampa, cereal or pizza, pizza. The ones who choose cereal are in the basement. Racy is alive! So cute. And then turn off the live, and they can hear Moffy. He's like waking up for the morning, so they head down the hall to go take care of him. And that's the end of the chapter.
cute little baby.
So then we get Rose's 26th birthday at Cobalt Diamonds.
Excellent.
So this is the one where it's her birthday.
Thank you.
Connor is taking Rose to go pick out a piece of jewelry for herself at Cobalt Diamonds. She's just like looking at all of this beautiful jewelry around her. And he sidles up to her and goes, "Those are Canadian diamonds. It's a conflict-free zone, so they're conflict-free diamonds. And how it's ethically sourced, it's important to her." And she's just like very distracted by Connor, and she starts smiling. And she goes, "I was smiling because I was standing beneath the sign that said diamonds. It had nothing to do with you. Do not let Connor Cobalt win. Never let him win."
Never let him win.
And then Connor's like, "You were also standing beneath a sign that said Cobalt." She's like, "It's also a name that belongs to me."
I have taken it as my own. Repurposing it.
Yes. And she gets distracted again because Connor is holding Jane while she's wandering around. So it's just like, I've got a very attractive husband, made even more attractive by the fact that he is like cradling our child. While he brought me to a jewelry store for me to pick out my favorite diamonds for my birthday.
As you should. He understands the assignment.
Yes. And then she gets this she gets this message from her mom, and it was basically that the publicist has sent Rose a list of questions to answer for her birthday because Lily did hers via social media, and Samantha wants Rose to answer them and put them in a magazine article or like something that to Samantha is more credible. And Rose is like, I don't want to do this because this is copying Lily. Like, that was her thing. And Samantha's like, no, you need to do it. It's totally different because hers was on social media.
Samantha.
So they go into this back office. Samantha's like, answer them now. We need the answers right away. So Rose is like, all right, we got to stop the diamond tour and go. We need to find a computer so I can answer these questions. So Connor takes her to this back office, and when she walks in, there are red roses everywhere in the office. There are like vases, and a champagne bottle on like the office table, and
very elegant.
It's this beautiful surprise that Connor had for her. He was gonna take her out, but he thought that she might like to be closer to home for her birthday so that Jane could be with her. She's like, yeah, you were right. But I'm not gonna tell you that, but yeah, for sure. And she says thank you, and you can obviously tell that it moved her. And then she goes, never mind. Never mind what? Never mind my thank you. I'm retracting it. So then she's like, I need to sit down and answer these questions. And Connor steals the chair that she was going to sit in. And he's like, nothing's stopping you from sitting down.
Yeah, just sit, Rose.
A queen doesn't share her throne. I wouldn't share mine either. Not with anyone but you. So she sits down on his lap, and she gets a little distracted while he's like reading off these questions that she needs to answer.
It was very fair.
Yeah. So he's like reading the questions and typing in her answers as she's trying to say them, but he's like, he already knows all of the answers. That's the spoiler. But what is your favorite memory of a past birthday? I like all my birthdays.
Lucky Rose.
Yeah. What do you think Connor would say are his 5 favorite things about you? My ass, my hair, my legs, my lungs, my eyes. And Connor's busy adding your intelligence, your temper, your confidence, your exaggerations. And then she types in my eyes, and he goes, I do adore your eyes. Yeah. What if you could only see 3 people for the rest of your life, who would they be? Connor, Jane, my sisters.
I'm sure Connor calls her out on the technicality.
I didn't realize a group of people is now considered one individual. Oh God. Lily and Daisy are drowning. Who would you save first and why? I'm not choosing.
That's
No.
not a fair question.
Why would you ask
that question? It's
a birthday questionnaire?
Happy birthday, kill one of your sisters.
Did Samantha approve of these questions?
I'm sure.
Yeah.
She would save Lily. Or no, she would probably say she would save Daisy for me.
Yeah, she just continues to get more and more distracted by Connor. So then he like reaches around her, and that's when he starts typing it. He's telling him the answers, and he's typing them out for her. But she's giving like very Rose, angry, annoyed Rose style answers. And when she like turns around, she sees that he's like typing in some more poignant answers for her. No, God, I had this all wrong. So he's saying all of this stuff, and she's getting more and more distracted, like hugs or cuddles, hiking or camping, hair in a ponytail or a braid, and he's like not actually typing anything, and she calls him out on it, and then he's like, yeah, I already answered all of the questions because I already know all of your answers.
Doesn't she get mad? I like remember these.
Yes. You never typed my answers. I already did. How? Did you even read me the right questions? I memorized the questions. But yeah, she just like, she understands how well Connor knows her. And then they toast to her birthday. So then the last bonus is Reich Meadows' 26th birthday interview. And here's what happened. So the last 2 bonuses were obviously told the way we're used to reading these books. It's told in like a chapter style narrative.
Prose, really, yeah.
Yeah. So for this bonus, it's here's what happened. Corbin Neary, the Calloway family's publicist, tried to contact Reich to answer fan questions for his birthday on September 19th. Reich never answered a single one of Neary's calls or texts. Neary was left to send the questions to Lauren Hale in order to deliver them to Reich. Lauren told Neary, I can give these to him, but he's in a foul fucking mood, so don't expect a goddamn novel from my brother. The mood that Lauren is referring to points towards Reich's recent break from rock climbing, and, in a manner of speaking, Reich is pissy. Reich emailed these fan questions back 5 minutes after he received them. These are his answers. What is your favorite memory of a past birthday? Rock climbed in Borneo at 9 with Adam Sully. What would be your ideal scenario for a day spent with Connor Cobalt on a lonely island, setting off on a fucking hike away from him? Name 5 extra things you'd pack on an adventurous trip to the wilderness when all the necessities like flashlight, tent, etc. are already packed. A fucking book. If you could change one thing in the world, what would it be? For addiction to never fucking exist. If you had the opportunity to be different, what would you change about yourself? Less stubborn. If you had a time machine, what moment in time would you go back to and live again? Any moment with Daisy. Greatest adventure you've ever had? Being in love with Daisy. Oh, being in love with Days.
Yeah, it is.
Greatest wish for yourself? Live the fullest life. What is the most dangerous and adventurous thing you would ever do with Daisy? L. and Seattle. Running on the bulls in Pamplona. I don't know if I pronounced any of that correctly. What is the language?
We're gonna pretend.
Yeah. What is the language that you would want to learn for yourself? Portuguese. What was the strangest birthday gift you've been given? A dog collar. I'll give you one fucking guess to figure out who gave it to me. What is the next place you'd like to take Daisy to? Too many places to name. This or that. Cupcakes or chocolate cake? Either. Red Hot Chili Peppers or Arctic Monkeys? Red Hot Chili Peppers. Daisy's hair up or down? I love her hair any fucking way. California or Florida? California.
They have mountains, but you don't. It's fair.
Lakes or rivers? Both. Piercings or tattoos? Tattoos. Rock climbing or running? Climbing. Wall sex or shower sex? Wall sex in the shower.
Excellent answer.
Couch or table? What the fuck? Run errands with Rose or with Lily? Both and neither. Go scuba diving or skydiving? Skydiving. Ice cream or frozen yogurt? Frozen yogurt.
Honestly, he was more forthcoming than I thought he would be.
I know.
He wrote us a novel.
So, we can go through the bonus text messages because there's not a lot. Lily says, hey, say someone was going to get you a birthday present. Would you appreciate a tiny mountain statue with your face carved on it, like Mount Rushmore, or would you prefer a tiny mountain statue with a tiny man statue that looks like you on top? Be honest. Right, don't get me a fucking birthday present. Problem solved. Lily, it wasn't a problem. It was just a question. One you have to answer. Right. The better question is, how the fuck are you going to get a mini sculpture of my face onto a mini mountain? What the fuck, Lily? I know people. Okay, Connor knows people. Mini mountain sculpting people. So which one? Question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. Buy me new carabiners. That's not any fun. Neither is staring at my face on a mountain.
I beg to differ.
So, that is the end of the Addicted After All content discussion.
Thank you for coming on this journey with us.
Yes.
Everyone.
Now,
Beautiful.
yes. Now it is time to quiz Sarah.
If you listened to our Ricochet episode, then you know I suck at these. And so much so I made Haley, give me the answers before this, and I don't remember them.
I think you did pretty well when I
Coached me.
coached you the last time. I have faith.
That was days ago. You know how many, words I've had to write since then?
Just remember titles. I think those were the only ones where you really tripped up. Okay, so question 1. Back then, I was so blank, 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 fill in the blanks.
Addicted to you.
Yes. What happened on the Cayman Islands trip Lily and Lo took? A. They had sex for the first time. B. They officially got together. C. They fell in love. Or D. They were husband and wife.
They were husband and wife.
Yes. What are the names of Lily and Lo's CPR fake babies? A. Maximoff and Luna. B. Tom and Jerry. C. Bert and Ernie. Or D. Keller and Kenny.
Bert and Ernie.
Bert and Ernie. What was the worst fizzle flavor? A. River Rush. B. Blue Squall. C. Mountain Berry. Or D. Sour Cherry.
Mountain Berry, right?
Mountain Berry Fizz.
Yeah. Because I remember when you quizzed me before, I said mountains. Like Blue Mountain or something.
Yeah, I don't
I'm
know if you
not
said
wrong
like
either
Mountain
way.
Squall or Blue Mountain.
I combine them both and I'm right either way.
Alright, question 5. In his eyes, I'm blank, 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 blank. Fill in the blanks.
Perfect.
Some kind of perfect. Question 6. I always knew we'd be blank, blank, blank.
Addicted after all, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Alright.
See, these are a lot easier than the ricochet question.
They are, yes. Ricochet questions were really mean. You can tell that I was
They weren't
like...
mean, they were just more challenging, and I wasn't expecting a quiz.
Well, you could tell that I was like really into digging into the details and quizzing people, because that was the beginning of the quiz journey, and then...
And then as they go on.
As they go on, I'm like, I'm tired of coming up with questions.
You're like, actually, I should make this easier for myself.
It's been nice because I haven't had to try and come up with them, but as we get into the later podcasts, I'm like, crap. I'm gonna have to come up with the quizzes on top of everything else, too.
You just need to, like, do it, like, clear your calendar one day and just be like, what are some questions?
Yeah. It's hard because you, like, want to challenge people, but at the same time, they can't be too ridiculous of a question.
The Cobalts would disagree.
They would. Alright. Question
For the Cobalt books, you should do, like, the stumpers.
I mean, I think I have a couple of... I definitely have one. I'll work on the real tough questions for the Cobalts, though. Okay, so question 7. Can't tell you the day that I fell in love with you because there wasn't a single day that I didn't. Is this part of Lily or Lo's wedding vows?
It was Lily's.
Okay. Because my superpower is the love I have for you. Is this part of Lily or Lo's wedding vows? Yes. It's out of this world, extraordinary, incomprehensible kind of love. Lily or Lo's wedding vow.
You literally just read them to me. It's Lo's, right?
Yeah. You have the purest parts of my heart, and I'm certain that in every alternate universe, I'm always, always in love with you. Lily or Lo?
Lily.
Lily. Alright, that's the end of the quiz.
I did so much better.
You did.
I did get quiz.
Redemption.
Days ago. It wasn't like we did this before. It was days ago where I was like, I'm panicking. What do you mean?
You did an excellent job. Thank you to everyone who made it through all of these episodes as we just gushed about this book because there's so much to gush about.
We hope you enjoyed them.
Yes.
We hope you made it this far. If you've made it this far, you are the real ones.
Yes, and we apologize for any chaos or loopiness that occurred.
Speak for yourself.
Alright, I apologize for my loopiness and being slightly unprepared for the last bonus chapter where I was basically reading the book in front of Sarah and just sort of speaking out loud. And calling that a summary.
I mean, it was great. It was perfect. It was everything I needed and wanted.
Would you say it's some kind of perfect?
It's some kind of perfect. It's our kind of perfect.
Alright, so this concludes the Addicted After All discussions, and until the next episode, continue to stay addicted to Krista and Becca's writing like us.